Does that work? Kind of works. Hi guys, welcome back. I thought it would be fun to do just some Sephora recommendations. I know the sale's coming up. People always get kind of excited about it. I feel like it's the finish line of sale season because all these other brands and stores have sales kind of leading up to the Sephora one. So if this is the moment you've been waiting for, here's some recommendations and things I like to keep in mind. But if you're kind of burnt out and you're getting near the end, well, please stay tuned. There could be a few things that you realized you might have missed or not thought of. So let's get right to it. I do like to start out by considering staple items like cleansers, toners, things that I find myself using on a regular basis, and just make sure, how am I doing? Do I need, any refreshes of some items that I kind of go through? Like micellar water, I know my favorite, they don't happen to sell at Sephora, so it could be true for you too. They don't really have a lot of, not necessarily affordable, because the Sephora brand is really affordable, but I don't like their micellar water. So if you happen to have one there that you love, please let me know in the comments. I could just be missing out on some good ones, but the La Roche-Posay or Simple are my two favorites right now. And then there's things like makeup remover wipes. I've really been liking the Clinique ones lately. They've been my favorites. I know during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty that they just had, these were on, I think, 40% off or something for one of the days. But if you missed that day, then now's a good time to pick up either your favorite ones or try these out. I think cleansers are one thing you really find yourself going through. You may not be cleaning your brushes as often as you should. I know I don't, but now is a good time to pick up a brush cleanser because the Sephora Daily Brush Cleaner, they have this spray and it is absolutely magical. I don't know what it is, but you spritz your brush, wipe it on a paper towel, everything comes off, and the brush is good to go. Like, you don't have to wait for it to dry off. So I do find myself going through this more often than like the brush shampoo. But if you're using a foundation brush, it's not quite enough. So I have found that's the one thing you can't quite use that for. So you do need a traditional brush cleanser to make sure you at least once a week are doing the brush cleaning. So this is your reminder. One other great thing to keep in mind with the Sephora sale is that the Sephora collection is 30% off for everybody. So starting on the very first day, it doesn't matter if you've never been in a Sephora before, you can walk right in, sign up for their insider program, and get 30% off. And the Sephora sale has some gems, like their cleanser for removing makeup. I swear, it's just like the pharmacy Green Clean. I absolutely love this stuff. I'm running really low, so it's a good time for the sale. I can stock back up. Super affordable, does a wonderful job. It's a great first step if you're doing a dual cleanse. After you get done using it, you do feel like there's residue, you have to wash your face again. But as a first step, it's absolutely amazing. Cannot recommend it enough. So as either a second part to your cleanse or as just a morning cleanser, I'm still in love with the Blueberry Bounce cleanser from Glow Recipe. I keep trying other cleansers. I find myself coming back to this. I just love that it's in a pump. It has a very light scent. It really does a good job, doesn't strip the skin. So keep an eye out for your favorite cleanser. Hopefully it's still in stock or Sephora carries it. Yeah, cleansers are a good one because it's something you use every day. And then don't forget to clean your beauty blender. I do like the beauty blender cleaner itself, especially if you can find the one with the little pump. I know it's a smaller size, so they do sell larger ones so you can always refill. I do like to just refill my little version of it. And your beauty blender, let's be honest, whatever your little makeup sponge, it's probably like this one, super gross and starting to tear a little. They really only last for so long, so this is your reminder to look for either the Sephora Collection brand or maybe the Beauty Blender itself. They have a really nice kit right now that comes with the cleanser and some new beauty blenders. I'll link that down below. I'll be getting that myself. I need a refill of the little tiny ones I like to use for under the eyes. And don't forget simple things, like the blotting papers from the Sephora Collection are really nice. I don't use a ton of these because I don't really have oily skin, but I know if you do, and with summer approaching, a lot of us are going to need to, do a little bit of blotting, so I like to pick these up in the spring sale. Speaking of summer coming up, make sure to get some sunscreen if you don't have any already, or at least if you're running low. This time of year, I always look at the sunscreen I have, check the expiration dates, and I really just kind of get rid of what I've had open for a while, especially any that I know are left over from last summer, and I just get myself some new ones. I usually have one that's good for like if you're gonna be sweating a lot or it's gonna be really hot, like a day at the beach. I use like one that's, I don't wanna say industrial strength, but it's, you know, an SPF 50, really sticks to the skin. You definitely need a double cleanse to get that stuff off. I'll link that below. I actually couldn't find it. I don't think I have any left, so I have to pick that up in the sale, but it's the Shiseido, and it comes in a little blue container. I'll link that below. It's my absolute favorite, but keep an eye out for yours. It's probably time to refresh it. Speaking of things that do expire fairly quickly, if you have any vitamin C serums, this is like my reminder to get a new vitamin C serum. So every fall Sephora sale and every spring Sephora sale, 6 months have elapsed. So if you start using a vitamin C, you really only have that much time once it's exposed to oxygen, even in a pump. Like this is in a nice little pump bottle. Once you start pumping it out, like a little bit of oxygen does get in there. So after 6 months, if you aren't quite out of your vitamin C serum, you probably want to consider getting a new one just to make sure you're getting something that's effective. Because if you're using it and it's not quite doing the job, it could just have lost some of its potency. Also in the section of things that are highly consumable, I would consider setting spray. So this one especially from Charlotte Tilbury. This has been delightful. I used up my mini and I've moved on to a full-sized. This you can put on before and after makeup, really helps it stick. Speaking of before, if you've watched the hyaluronic acid video, you know that it's really important to mist your face. So even if you aren't using a setting spray prior to makeup and you're just kind of hanging out over the course of the day, you might want to add a water mist to your routine. I love this Caudalie grape water, and it is a little pricey. So whenever there's a sale, it's a nice time to stock up on it. But that's really nice before your skincare to either mist that on or throughout the day, just to give yourself the benefit of the hyaluronic acid to help with plumping. Another item I tend to find myself going through is hair oil. I've really liked the Moroccan oil, various hair oils throughout the years, but the one I've just started using is the Gimme. This one smells pretty good. I'll say the oil isn't too heavily scented, but it has a similar effect to the Moroccan oil where, especially with red hair or brown hair, I feel like it really brings out like a little more of the red. So I've been absolutely loving this. It looks really pretty on my hair. If you're a blonde or something, you might not like it. I know a big complaint from the Moroccan oil, which is a darker oil than this one. Anyone with lighter colored hair was complaining it made their hair look kind of red. So if you're a brunette or if you have red hair and want to bring that out a little, I highly recommend either the Moroccan oil or this Gimme oil. I haven't been using it quite long enough to know how well the honey infused hair oil helps with hydration, but I've used it a couple of times and it sure makes your hair look fantastic, and sometimes that's enough. I know you're probably sick of hearing me talk about this, but the Benefit Gimme Brow, I just love this stuff. I've tried a bunch of others, but when it comes down to value, like other things are more expensive. You can buy a jumbo version of this, and I think the retail price is $40, so on sale, it's pretty nice to get it, especially if you can get it at the 20% off Rouge level. It's just great. It's a wonderful gel. It goes on really easily, covers up the grays if you don't need to do a lot of filling in. I love this product. The Julep one was also really nice, but if I don't happen to be ordering other things from Julep, then like, am I paying extra shipping? If I'm just getting the one thing, is it worth placing an order? So sometimes it really is just easier to go just at Sephora where I can walk in the store or I can pick up a few other things in my order. Face powder is another one of those items that you can kind of end up going through, especially if you do like to bake. I'm not really into doing that, but I have noticed for travel, I like a loose powder for not travel, but during travel time. The Kosas Cloud Set is really nice. I think this is the color Breezy. It just goes on so lovely. I'm not worried about it accidentally spilling when I'm traveling. And with summer approaching, there are those trips, even if it's just for a long weekend somewhere. So speaking of travel, don't forget to check out the travel section for the minis during the Sephora sale. They have a wide variety. There's so many different things in mini form. And usually I feel kind of bad buying the mini, you know, because the price per ounce or whatever you're getting, it doesn't feel like quite as much of a value. But if you're traveling, having like a really tiny size of something, or if you just want to try something out and you're not really certain you're gonna love a concealer, it's nice. Check it out now because then it kind of hurts a little less when you know you're paying more per ounce. Speaking of travel, I have just been loving this little Kaja, I think they call them bento for eyeshadow, with the 3 different colors. I've gotten wonderful use out of Chocolate Dahlia. This one's so nice. There's a darker matte shade on the bottom. It's just like a simple brown. And then you get a lighter peachy shade, which is also matte. And then there's like a cute little shimmer. So you can add this on for just a little pop of color. This has been just wonderful if I'm going somewhere for a long weekend, just kind of throw it in the makeup bag. It takes up a lot less space. So they have a lot of colors. Give it a whirl if you want to try to find something you think would complement your eye color or skin tone. These little guys have been great. Also, while we have travel on the brain, another shout out for the Sephora collection. They have the cutest little Destinations eyeshadow palettes. This one is called Island Hopping. It just feels like the most lovely little spring palette, some really pretty colors. I played around with this in my Sephora face-off, where I did a comparison of the Sephora collection brushes and the Sephora Pro brushes. I used this as the eye makeup palette for that look. I really liked it. It's just fun. They're very light colors, like there's not a ton of pigmentation. So if you do need that, maybe island hopping isn't for you, but if you're looking for something just light and breezy, I really liked this one. That was a fun surprise. Another fun surprise out of that video, I'll link the video below because it's really interesting to look at the comparison of the Sephora Pro versus the Sephora collection line. So if you're in the market for a brush, definitely check out that video. But this was definitely a surprise, a little hidden gem for me. They have a huge highlighter fan brush. I love fan brushes for highlighting, but this one is like really thick. And I found that it does just such a lovely job evenly dispersing the highlight. So especially if you want a more subtle look, this brush has just been absolutely lovely and I really liked it. And since you can never have enough crease brushes, well, you could probably have enough at some point, but you always want like a nice clean one for blending. So I have, I think, 2 number 27 brushes. These are really nice. If you put down the color and you just want to do a little bit of blending with a clean brush, this is fantastic to have on hand. And if you have the daily brush cleaner, you can just mist it, give it a little swirl on a paper towel, and you have a clean brush before you know it. And then one last possibility for a staple item. I don't know if you're the type who wears a fragrance all the time, but I do like to, switch it up for the different seasons. I know some people have a signature scent, but I really like to keep it fresher in the summer and then maybe a little more dark and moody in the fall, winter. And then of course there's like the date night fragrances. But if you're looking for something just light and airy for spring, I've really liked the Capri scent from Skylar. It's a really nice lemony scent. It's not too heavy. I feel like you can just put this on if you're gonna be in an office environment. You're not gonna like overwhelm anybody. It does seem to fade throughout the day, so I don't know if I'm getting nose blind to it by the end of the day or if it really is kind of fading a little bit. But it's a great light scent, so if you're heading out for brunch, I think this is nice. It won't like overwhelm your senses while you're trying to eat. That's one thing that drives me crazy is if you're going out for dinner and you like have a heavy fragrance or you're with someone who's wearing a heavy fragrance and you can almost taste it while you're trying to eat and it can affect the experience. But something this light I've really liked for just like simple morning coffee or breakfast or going out for lunch during the summertime. One last item that I might consider a staple, also a little controversial, self-tanner. I like this face mist. I was terrified about using the Saint-Tropez bronze mist. I'm like, how do you mist on self-tanner? But it's a really light, fine mist. You don't end up with speckles everywhere. I was like, am I gonna come out looking like a leopard with just spots all over? But it really does a nice job, especially if you're trying to get, the areas of your face that it's a little harder to nicely apply self-tanner. Now you're not gonna look like you just spent 2 weeks in Tulum or something, but you look a little more bronzed up. So it's nice this time of year when it might be sunny and warm. You're not necessarily hanging out by the beach quite yet. So just like a little mist and you're covering yourself in sunscreen anyway. right? So you've got to use a little bit of a fake tanner. And this one has definitely become my favorite. Now we're moving on to the section of items that are a little more fun. Like if you're gonna splurge on something, or if you're like, you know what, it's on sale, it's a little less painful to spend that much on something. I love this Brazilian body wash. I like the Brazilian cream, like the Bum Bum cream for the anti-cellulite. It's delightful, but the body wash smells so good. It's just a body wash, so I feel a little bad spending this much, but it's like a little tropical vacation in the shower. Oh, I do recommend hiding this though after you're done with your shower, because your partner or anyone else that you cohabitate with, they're gonna start using this and you're gonna be mad because it's not cheap. And it's your own little splurge. If you can't go somewhere on vacation, just vacation a little bit in the shower. I also consider this kind of like a somewhat necessary splurge. But in the mornings, I love the Caudalie Beauty Elixir as my face mist. It has some botanical essences in here that are really good at like tightening the pores. Like you can smell and kind of feel the rosemary and the other things as it sort of feels a little tingly, like, you know, you can feel it working. So it smells really nice. If you like, you know, botanical sorts of scents, if you really hate scents, this is not gonna be for you. You really need to give it a good shake because there's some oils that do float to the top. And, you know, the rest of the water's on the bottom, so you give it a really good shake. It has such a beautiful mist. It's really nice. It's just a lovely little indulgence in the mornings, especially since getting ready can be kind of hectic. It feels just like a little wake up, you know, like a little bit of caffeine or something. There's no caffeine in it, but it's, you know, like that first sip of coffee, you smell it and just feel more awake. A little mist of this, I just feel a little more awake. All right, this one is just a straight up splurge. If you just want to get something special, it's beautiful, it's Tom Ford, it's a lip gloss. It's a little battle worn because it's been in my purse. So I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. This particular shade, I think is Smoked Amethyst. It's a little purple. I was concerned. I was like, do I really want to put something purple on my lips? But, oh, it's so pretty, especially over like the pink of your lips. It doesn't end up looking purple. I hate how much I love this because it's definitely not cheap, but if you're looking for something, you just want to indulge, treat yourself a little bit. This is, as far as Tom Ford goes, like you're not going to get yourself a bag or a pair of shoes or something for this, but a little bit of lip gloss. You're pulling it out a couple times a day. It's absolutely beautiful. You feel good because you know it looks really good. It's nice and hydrating. So I don't know, as far as splurges go, something you can enjoy multiple times a day, hey, I'm here for that. If you aren't quite that ready to spend that much on lip gloss, there's the Dior lip oil. I know this was viral or something. It was sold out all over the place. It got kind of hard to get. I do like this shade in particular. I will have to link it because I don't see the name on the bottle. But yeah, it's super cute. It's similar sort of vibe to the Tom Ford one. This one's also sort of purple. If it's not peach or purple, like I'm not buying it for lip gloss. But the lip oil is really nice. It's also very hydrating. This one's way more sheer. So if you're looking for something with a little less color, this is a lovely option. Hopefully it's not sold out because I had a hard time getting it a few times. I don't know, TikTok keeps ruining things for people. Because you like something and then other people find out about it and next thing you know, like you can't get it anymore. Like that Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, oh my gosh, I love that thing and for a while it was almost impossible to get. Speaking of, I've seen it in stock lately, so I mean if you happen to need it or you wanted to pick it up but couldn't, now's a great time. This is another thing TikTok kind of ruined, or not ruined, but made it hard to get. It's the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush. Now, what's crazy about this one, it's super light. It's like quite the pop of pink, but it's supposed to kind of change with the pH of your skin, so it kind of customizes to you. I thought it'd be fun to try out. I did like my usual blush application, but it's quite pigmented. And I thought, oh, it'll fade over the course of, you know, usually you put some blush on. By the time you get to where you're going, like it's faded a little bit and you look correct. No, No, it was super rosy. I had to actually like tone it down and take a little off. So if you want like a pop of blush, and I know that's super popular right now, it's like really having a moment, like the more heavy blush look, you'd be very happy with this. I think this is 01 Pink from Dior Backstage. That whole line is really good if you're looking for a nice concealer or you just want to explore one of the more prestige brands. I would definitely check out the Dior Backstage. The whole line is just really nice. And then finally, one of my favorite things to get during the Sephora sale is some sort of a candle. Going into fall, winter, I need to switch up the fragrances, something a little more replica by the fireplace in the fall. And I just found for the summer this French Cade and Lavendar candle. I hate the smell of lavender. I love this Voluspa candle. I don't know what it is. It's not too lavendery. It's just like, it doesn't even feel like it smells like lavender to me. It's very light. It just kind of gives tranquil spa vibes. So if you want to have like a chill day, do some journaling, meditation, love this candle. I like the little versions of it so I can light it just for that purpose, to do like an hour of like me time. This larger version is more for like you're taking a bath and you're doing like your whole me time ritual. I don't know. This has been my absolute favorite lately. So I think that will, I just bought it, so that was from Nordstrom. I'll link the Nordstrom one below because it might still be on sale there. But you get with 2 candles with that. So if you're not interested in the apple scented one, or you really want to focus, or just check it out, go into the store, find yourself a fun little fragrance. It's just a nice way to mark the changing of the seasons that the Sephora sale brings. All right, that's all I have for today. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for some more content just like this. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.